Good morning. You're getting to see a bit of my hat collection lately. This morning, I'll let you guess. Guess how this came up today. This morning I was thinking about meditation ways. Like, there are so many kinds of meditation and there are so many ways to get into meditation, and sometimes I've been kind of doing the version where you just sit and you don't try to do anything. I don't try to do anything. I just sit and stay there with my eyes closed, regardless of how impossible that seems to be. It's surprising how difficult it can be simply to sit. Simply to sit. Well, the reality is that's really difficult. That is maybe, one of the most difficult ways to do meditation. If you want to do the hardest way, that's the way to do it, I think. It's kind of like, imagine a boxing/wrestling match with your ego. And your ego has all the advantages. It's got the, home court kind of advantage, and it's been practicing a lot. And it knows all the tricks. So it's kind of like, I'll do that meditation, I'll do that sort of basic form of meditation, and my ego just wrestles me to the ground and opens my eyes, and sometimes before I even know it, I'm kind of getting up and about to move on. That's the hard way, and that's why we have so many other ways of entering into meditation. When we do something like watch the breath or feel the breath passing by under the nose or through the nostrils, we are giving the ego something to do. And all it really wants is something to do. It doesn't even really care what. So we can enlist it to boost our meditations and help us get where we want to get, instead of just going along with wherever the ego wants to get. I use that analogy a lot of letting the dog drive, or dropping the reins and letting the horse pull the cart wherever it wants to go. The ego just wants to do that. It just wants to work. It just wants to go. It just wants to be paying attention to things. So why not enlist it in the cause? We give it something to do. Watching our breath, saying a mantra. I particularly like mantra because it, in a way, bypasses ego. There are different kinds of mantra, and I'm talking about true mantra, not just, repeating a phrase over and over again. I am light or whatever. It's not bad, but it's not a true mantra. A true mantra is a vibration that incorporates and expresses and essentially is the vibration of divinity, a certain form of divinity. So different mantras will embody different divine energies, but that's what they all have in common. And have you ever hummed when you're distressed? Or have you ever noticed? Sometimes children do that. They'll hum, or they'll sing, or that vibration. Sometimes even just talking. That vibration in the body changes the dynamic. It changes the chemical messages. Sorry, my mouth isn't awake this morning. And the very vibration of the body, like literally the vibration of the body, is immediately shifted. Well, when you do mantra, you bring in not only the vibration of the divine, not only paying attention and engaging the ego in something productive, but you get that vibrational uplift that boosts your whole body, mind, energy. It makes meditation so much easier. And to be fair, in the Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, the spiritual dark age that we're in right now, that we're just stepping out of, meditation is super hard. It's never going to be harder than it is now. So that's why they say, the sages have said that meditation, that mantra meditation is, the perfect boat to carry us through the Kali Yuga. It makes it so much easier. It does half the work for us. Already our vibration is uplifted. Now we just have to, get the mind on board. And it brings us back into our bodies as well. We feel the vibration, we hear the sound, we are engaging our vocal cords and lungs to give voice to this mantra, and which deepens the breathing and slows the breathing, which is all part of it. As an aside, take a moment to notice what you're feeling in your body right now. Do you feel something in your torso that feels like tension or shivering? I'm just wondering that because I'm really cold this morning and should have put on my warmer layers apparently. And so I'm talking and I'm shivering in my core at the same time. And I'm wondering if you might be picking up on that. Did you pick up on that? I wouldn't be at all surprised, even if maybe you didn't even notice it until I said. I mean, there's always the power of suggestion that could be at play, but sometimes it's just if we're not used to noticing these subtle things, or we don't think we can be feeling or noticing something, then we don't. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. If you are feeling a little bit of tension, or I don't know what else you might call that, shiveringness, it's mine. Don't worry. It's not you, it's just me. Okay, so do you want to engage your ego in head-to-head, full-on wrestling, boxing, struggling, fighting mode? Or do you want to do that, what is it? That sort of taekwondo style where you take the energy and you just redirect it. And it's so much more gentle and more effortless. Takes a fraction of the power, and willpower, discipline, whatever you want to call it, whatever you might have to use to tie yourself into the chair. I'm a big fan of doing what works, not to the detriment of our progress. I don't advocate using, for instance, drugs to shift consciousness. That maybe, it has a place perhaps in certain circumstances, very short periods of time, under very alert, very aware guidance and proper preparation, physical, emotional, spiritual preparation. I'm not saying that it can't be beneficial to some degree in very limited quantities, perhaps. But what I am saying is we don't want to get dependent on something that is not coming from within ourselves. It can be very helpful to use tools like the heart math. What do you call that? I can't remember what it's called, but the heart math has a heart-brain coherence little unit technology, and that's helpful. These things can be helpful, biofeedback, whatever. And those are not addictive, and they are not distractive, if that's a word. So that's okay. Whatever helps us get to where we're going, why not, right? The problem with drugs is that they become, even if they're non-addictive physically, we get attached to the high, we get attached to the bliss or whatever, the expansiveness, the shifted consciousness. That's a risk at some point on the spiritual journey. But when you jump to using drugs, you bypass the whole training and process that gets you there, that makes you ready to perhaps avoid that pitfall. And you confuse the momentary elevation with actual spiritual evolution, and it's not the same. Outside of that, whatever methods you can use to get yourself meditating every day, use it. It's as simple as that. Whatever works that day, use it. There's a time in the future, when you're stronger, your meditation muscle is stronger, that you might want to take on a more disciplined or challenging practice, because those are really beneficial at some point. But in the beginning, they're more likely to be self-sabotage. We make it hard for ourselves so that we give up. The ego wants to strive and push really hard and then crumble under the pressure. And it's not a coincidence. It's kind of planned. It's subconscious, but it's self-sabotage. So if you're having any difficulty meditating, do the easiest possible version. Transcendental meditation is super easy. It's supposed to be, they say, one of the easiest. The heart math, heart-brain coherence version is gets you most of the benefits, I think, of meditation just with the simple version of that. And mantra is always beautiful. I love mantra. Few things feel so wonderful to me as doing a mantra practice. So, in other words, be your own friend and bring your ego along with you. Instead of making your ego the enemy, befriend it and enlist it in this wonderful goal that you have, this wonderful process that you're embarking on or re-embarking on or whatever. All right, that's enough. There's a little more I could go into, but we're out of time. So let's see. Imagine what our practice could be today. Well, see if you can't be gentle with yourself around meditation. See if you can't find a way that gives the ego something to do and makes it a part of it instead of the enemy of it. And then put that into practice today. So I can't wait to hear in the comments section how it goes and what insights have come up for you, either from the practice or from this talk. And I will see you again tomorrow. I hope that you have a really lovely day, you and your ego, hand in hand, walking through the beach of life. Blessed be.